Hi Dollar Divas, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be doing a second impressions video. So as you know, I've been hauling a lot of makeup, new makeup from Dollar Tree here lately, and I love to test it here on my channel, but I don't like to just test it once or try it once and then be done with it. So I love to sometimes do like an entire video dedicated to like second impressions. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. So of course, if you're a returning Dollar Diva, thank you so much for coming back for another video. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Jessica and I'm basically a bargain makeup channel. What I mean by that is I like to do a lot of the same fun content that other beauty channels do. I just like to keep it at the bargain price point. So the closer to $1, the better. So if it sounds like you're in the right place, I do hope you'll become part of our Dollar Diva family here on YouTube. And as always, I will have related content down below in the description box. That way you can binge watch more content like this when you're done with this video. So we have a lot to get into today. So without any further chit chat, let's just go ahead and get into today's video. So I used this in my last testing new Dollar Tree makeup video, the pomade and brush. This is the medium brown. I also have the dark brown to try as well. Have not used that one yet, but I'm collecting more makeup for a new testing new Dollar Tree makeup video. So I will use that here soon. But if you missed that, it's just basically this little dual product. You have a brush on one end and then a little pomade here. Now, in my first experience, this is a much thinner formula than a lot of pomades, which I know a lot of you weren't really crazy about who have tried this. I personally really didn't mind it. Now that I know, it's like, yeah, it's a little bit more of like, I don't like a concealer texture, I guess, versus like a little bit more of like a waxy. So I just put some on my brush and then I just kind of smear it on my counter here a little bit to kind of diffuse the product so I don't make a mess. And it is kind of hard to see inside the container, so it is hard to gauge how much you're getting and like where the product is. So it is a little bit messy, but honestly, I found in my first video using this, it dries down really pretty quick. Like, because I don't like to have to wait too long to be able to like brush my brows out and all that kind of thing. So I really didn't mind it. And I also really liked the color. A lot of the medium brown shades that IONI puts out, and really just a lot of brow products in general at the bargain price point, like at Dollar Tree, tend to read a little warm. So this did not, which I was really pleased about. So now I'm not even dipping back my brush back into the product. I'm just taking what is here on my counter. And then of course I will wipe it off with a baby wipe, which I always have on hand. So you'll see this brow here will be a little bit less dark, and I might actually have to get a little bit more product if I can't work this in and make it as dark as the other brow. Like I said, this brow formula does dry down really fast, so it dries down on my counter really quick too. Like I said, I like that because sometimes like with the brow gels, I've been loving a brow gel lately, like in a brown shade, but I feel like I have to wait a really long time before I can really kind of brush my brows out. And this is not the case with this product here, in my opinion. There we go. Like I said, I really love the shade. I'm gonna put these two things back together. And I am gonna brush this out with a spoolie. See that? It's already dried down on this eye here. See, just a really, really nice effect, I feel. So yeah, second impression on this is I personally really, really like it. Probably in some ways one of my favorite brow products from IONI. I find it to be personally really easy to work with. So second impression, I really, really do like this. And I use basically all of the brow products that I use. They all like exclusively come from Dollar Tree. And I have no problem with my brows lasting. So now I'm gonna clean them up with the IONI concealer. I got this shade here, Cool Light, as well as a slightly darker shade. My first impression was I don't really like the brush. I mean, it applies to your skin nice, but like to clean up my eyebrows, which this is an optional step. This is not something everybody does. I still like to go in with my Sassy Chic. And I like to clean up my brows. I really liked this formula, especially for a Dollar Tree concealer. I do not know how many shades they have. I've seen 3. So let me know if there is more than 3 or not. Judging by the names of the ones I found, like the shade names, I have reason to believe there is quite a few shades because this one's like Cool Light, and then I think I found another one that was like a dark shade. and it had like the undertones on it as well. And then my medium one that I have, it's like neutral medium or something like that. So that gives me every reason to believe it's more than just light, medium, dark, you know. But I could be wrong. Those could be just random shades that IONI decided to put out. Because, you know, honestly, they don't really have a whole lot of different shades of their products. Usually their products, they've got 2 shades, you know, whether it's a lipstick or a blush or brow product or something like that. So it works really good to clean up my brows, and of course we'll use it again to conceal, although I think I'm going to use the darker color to conceal. So second impression, so far so good still. Okay, so now I'm going to be using a liquid eyeshadow that I used in my last testing new Dollar Tree makeup video, and I wanted to try it on my whole lid to see how I really liked the shade, because I used it as an inner corner highlight. Didn't love it for that, but I thought I might really like it as like an all-over color. That's often what I do for work as a performer. I've been using a lot of liquid eyeshadows from Dollar Tree in like gold and champagne shades, and just doing like a one and done. I've been doing that for over a year now. So this is the LA Colors liquid eyeshadow. This came in their Halloween line. This is in the shade Evil Queen. And like I said, I'm just kind of wanting to see how this does as an all-over shade. It really kind of matches my skin tone, so that made me feel like I might not really like it as much, but another part of me thought that might be a reason to love it, you know. I do love LA Colors liquid shadows. They're some of my favorite bargain formulas of liquid shadow. And I just decided I'm applying it with the doe foot it comes on. A lot of times I will use like a flat brush to apply it. I'm going to put it up. I'm just going to kind of blend it up in here a little bit. I think it's really very, very pretty. It's like it neutralizes the color of my eyelid, but it's got a little bit of shimmer, and yet nothing too overly dramatic, which, you know, I know a lot of people don't always want. And, you know, sometimes I don't even want something overly dramatic, believe it or not. See, I like to bring it up a little bit past the crease, and then sometimes I'll put a little extra on the inner part. So there we go. I think it's gorgeous, actually. So like I said, I was a little unsure of how I liked the shade in my last video, because I did it as an inner corner highlight, and I like something a little lighter and a little bit more, yeah, a little lighter and a little brighter. But this is like an all-over shade. It's absolutely gorgeous. So, yeah. So I really, really like the shade. This is something I would probably definitely take and wear it to work, but I would also wear it just out and about too. It's like natural enough. So really, really pretty. Second impression, using this in a different way. I love it. So now the mascara. I used this in my last testing new Dollar Tree makeup video. It's the LA Colors Lift and Lock Mascara, and this may be, in my opinion, the best mascara at the Dollar Tree. They've got a couple other varieties as well that now I really want to try. It's a little goopy, and it is a little bit of like a thicker formula mascara, but so many of the mascaras at the Dollar Tree literally don't feel like they're doing anything, so it doesn't really make me mad. I like the brush. I think the brush makes the product easy to apply. So mascaras are just notoriously bad at Dollar Tree, in my opinion, but some of my favorites have been the BPure Hydrating and the IONI Lengthening with Fibers, if you're new here. And I think this one here blows them both out of the water. So now I'm curious to try the other varieties. See, that's just one coat, and you can see that it has done something, whereas a lot of times one coat of a Dollar Tree mascara doesn't do anything. Now, LA Colors doesn't make a bad mascara, like if you buy one at like Family Dollar or like Five Below or something like that. It's just really their $1.25 price point that has lacked. Beauty Intuition mascaras are not really great either. La Mercerie has made some of the worst mascara too, just dry. And so we're gonna add another coat of this in a little bit, and then I'll give my like second impression thoughts. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on to face. And I'm just gonna use my Candy Moyo Moisturizing Foundation, but what I'll be doing a second impression with is this Must Have Beauty foundation brush. I got to use 3 out of the 6 brushes in my last video and wanted to do a second impression. So I really, really liked these in my last video. Of course, Dollar Tree does have a lot of really, really nice makeup brushes from like Sassy Chic. Now Must Have Beauty, even Wet n Wild has some brushes there that are really nice. You really can't go wrong in that price point. you know, they might not last as long, and like they're really lightweight. They're not going to be like super duper like heavyweight, but for the money, you can get a really decent brush at Dollar Tree. Yeah, I feel this is applying my foundation every bit as good as like my Real Techniques. I really love the Sassy Chic foundation brush. Yeah, it's just really applying the foundation very, very smooth. It doesn't feel like it's just dragging it around. I'll have to see how these wash and wear over time. Like I said, they're probably not going to last as long as like an IT Cosmetics brush or something like that. Something a little bit more expensive. But I have gotten a lot of use and mileage out of my brushes from Dollar Tree. Yeah, second impression, I think it did a fabulous job. And of course, you've got these little cases right here, which are just fabulous. So now I'm going to use the other shade of concealer again for under my eyes. Either that, or do I want to use the lighter shade? I may use the lighter shade just to see how it works, because I usually always use a lighter shade of concealer under my eyes. So I'm just going to apply that there. And I'm going to use my Sassy Chic concealer brush. This seemed to really help like brighten up my eyes and get rid of the dark circles. It blended in really nice. I didn't wear it for an extended period of time when I tried it, but I will. I actually saw a TikTok where someone did, and it really did a very, very, very good job. She said there was a little bit of creasing. I didn't see it in the video, but she also said that could have been her application of it too, that she didn't use something that she normally would have used. And I like the lighter shade too for under my eyes, because I do like to brighten up my under eye area. But so the other shade I have is the neutral light medium. It's really good for under my eyes as well. Like I said, I saw a darker shade as well. So definitely let me know if you've seen more than the 3, because I'm so curious. So yeah, really, really nice. I guess you could use those as like contour as well. If you get like a dark and a light, you could use them to contour your face, which is always a nice use. So I used the powder brush in my last video, so I'm gonna use it again. This is again from Must Have Beauty. And I'm going to be doing a second impression on this against my better judgment, y'all. So the IONI Loose Baking Powder. I used this a couple of new makeup videos ago. And this is the shade Ube, so it's pink. Now what I did last time was I baked under my eyes with this, and that was a mistake. I am going to just try sweeping this on this go around. I don't know that pink powder is for my skin tone, to be honest. So I'm going to give it a second try. And if it doesn't work for me this time, I'm going to just start mixing it with like a banana powder and make like an apricot. Now, as far as like, IONI has that mattifying setting powder, which is really nice. It's translucent, and they really make a nice setting powder. But like I said, I just don't know. I think I'd prefer personally for my skin tone an apricot, but we'll see. I'm going to give it another try, because I don't try anything just once here, unless something's really terrible. Like I said, baking under my eyes didn't work for my skin tone. People with like a certain skin tone, a pink will brighten up under their eyes, but not me. It made me look tired. I'll just sweep it gently. You know, I've got a lot of yellow like in my skin, and red as well. The formula's nice. It's taken away the shine, but still leaving like a little bit of a glow. Not as bad just putting it on. Like I said, it's not something I need to use like baking under my eyes. It's still not, the pink shade is still not my favorite. I would prefer that they come out with like a banana or an apricot. But second impression with not using it under my eyes is much better than my first impression when I baked under my eyes. And the brush is just fabulous. Love the brush as well. So second impression on the powder brush, just really, really, really nice. So I'm going to do a second impression on both of these LA Colors Sculpting and Bronzing Duos. They've actually got 5 of these. I've got 3. I've got 2 highlighting and 1 like contour bronzing. And I used these once, and I'm going to use them again. And also I'm going to use with them the contour brush that I used in my last video. So I'm going to take some of the product. I'm going to diffuse it on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to apply it. This brush here is to be used with creams, like specifically contour products. I think it's doing a really nice job. And the product is, again, really nice. These really grew on me when I bought them and brought them home. I was like, I don't really know how to use these things. Not so much the contour one, but the highlighting one. But it's really grown on me. Yeah, second impression on the bronzing duo, really nice. I'm gonna also use like the powder as well. And I'm just gonna use like just a fluffy brush. Apply some of the powder bronzer. I feel like it's going on a little bit patchy up here. I may have just applied too much. Let me use my foundation brush and just kind of cancel some of that out right there. So it feels a little patchy. I don't know if the brush worked as good with this product as it did my W7 bronzer that I used in my last video. I don't know if it's just a little bit too small or if I just went a little weird with it, but it's really kind of patchy. And like I said, I don't know if that's the product or the brush just doesn't agree with this product. I'm gonna take my foundation brush and just kind of try to diffuse it a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. I really liked this the first time I used it. Like I said, I think this brush, I think this just might work better with like a stippling brush, or my favorite way to apply cream like bronzers and blushes is really actually a damp beauty blender, especially where I still have a little bit of my foundation in it where I can kind of really diffuse it. Otherwise it can look a little harsh. So not sure how I feel about these two things together. Then for the blush, I'm gonna use this shade again because I remember being really afraid of it. This is from IONI, this is from their latest line. This is Raspberry Spice. And I really, really liked it in the video where I tested it. Not as much as the Cinnamon Cream shade, but this one here I liked much better than I expected to. So I'm just gonna put a tiny dot and use my stippling brush and just really diffuse this product. You really wanna go light-handed with this. And I do think the shade here would be excellent for darker skin too, because it'll really show up. See, and that's really all you need. Yeah, the shade is much easier to work with than I expected. So second impression on this blush, although it's not my favorite shade that they came out with, it is really, really nice. And like I said, especially, it's got a nice, interesting color to it. And like I said, would definitely be really good for darker skin tones. So now my second time using the Sculpting Duo. This is the shade Get Glowy. And it comes with this like cream highlighter and then like a powdered highlighter. And the cream highlighter looks like that. And so I'm just gonna use this again today. And I'm just gonna use my finger to apply it. In my first experience, this right here, this cream product, is like a great highlighter, like if you don't want like a lot of glitter, or like something super, super shimmery. It's a little bit more of like kind of a, for lack of a better word, like a wet look, you know, on the skin. So yeah, this here, it went from, my first impression was like I was so excited to find them. And then when I got home, I was like, oh gosh, how do you use this? And then I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And so now I really understand. And these are supposed to be dupes for Patrick Ta, which retail for like 40 bucks. So a steal for $1.25. So now I wanna go back up to my eyes. I'm gonna add a little bit of liner. I'm just gonna be using my LA Colors Cat Eye Liquid Liner. This is Calico Brown. I'm just gonna add a little bit of a wing, and I'm gonna add a second coat of mascara. When I don't wear lashes, I go a little bit less crazy with my winged liner. At least I try. There we go. I really, really do love this eyeshadow shade. I think it just looks so nice. And we're gonna be doing like a dramatic lip too, because I'm gonna be using a product that I tested out a few months ago here on my channel. And I wanna use it again. I haven't used it since. So second impression of this mascara, like I said, I think so far the best from the Dollar Tree in my opinion. Then I used this a few months ago. I've got two different shades. I've got like a nude one, and then this here is the Red Rebel. This is the lip contour kit. You get a matte liquid lipstick and a lip liner. I kept the packaging for some reason. I don't know why. I guess I wanted to try it again. And these are supposed to be dupes for the Kylie lip products. So of course you get a lip liner and a matte liquid lipstick. And I remembered when I used this last time, the red shade was beautiful. I love the nude one as well. Very pigmented, soft, creamy lip liner. Now we go in with the lipstick. And you know me, having like my lip liner matching my, either my lips or my lipstick is not usually my thing. I usually like a darker lip line. This has a very unique taste and smell, and it's familiar, and I can't place it. Absolutely cannot place it, but it's pleasant. Again, the lipstick goes on really creamy. This seems to be a little bit more like a bright red versus like a blue-based red. It's kind of like that, like Gwen Stefani red, you know, is how it looks like in my monitor, you know, like just that really bright red, but it's really, really nice. Honestly, it's not a red that I dislike at all. So now a quick rundown of my second impressions of all these products. The brushes, again, love the powder brush, love the foundation brush. I love the contour brush too, but it just didn't really work well with this particular bronzer, and I don't know whether or not it's that I'm not liking how the bronzer applied to my skin this go around, or this brush just didn't work well at moving this product around, or what. But kind of my second impression on both of these together is not the best, not the worst either, but not the best. I still really do love the powder and the foundation brush. Then, of course, still love the little highlighting duo. This is in Get Glowy. Just love the glow that it gives. The pink powder, like I said, it's still not really my thing, although it is much more palatable when I just put it on my face with a brush versus trying to bake. Pink is just not for my skin tone, but like I said, it's kind of okay. I still will probably be mixing this with a banana powder and making like an apricot shade, and I really want IONI to come out with either a translucent or an apricot. I would really like an apricot or a banana, because some of us with other skin tones would really do better with those. Second impressions on the lip contour. Really, I'm loving this bright shade of red. The lipstick is matte. The color is really pretty. I love the nude shade as well. I've used that a couple times here on my channel. And the lip liner was creamy. I don't know that it's so much like a contour as much as like the other shade, but it is really, I think you would achieve that more with like a darker lip line. But really, really do love the product and the color. Again, the blush, just used an extremely light hand. Really like the shade. It's a nice kind of really deep color, so it kind of looks like it's coming from within. Like I said, again, I still think it would be really great for darker skin tones. The mascara, again, I did 2 coats, and like I said, I do think it's one of the better, probably the best mascara at the Dollar Tree, and I do want to try the other ones to test them out as well. So, like I said, my new favorite mascara from Dollar Tree. Then the concealer, really, really am loving these. I got a little bit of creasing going on, but then again, I didn't really bake under my eyes like I normally do. So I'll have to try it again too and bake under my eyes with like one of my normal setting powders just to double check, but I still really, really like it. Again, I personally really like this pomade, even though it's a thinner formula. I like that IONI has taken some of the warmth out of their brown. I don't know if that's intentional or by accident, but it doesn't read as warm as it used to. Like I said, I like working with this formula. It dries down really quickly, which is nice. Like I said, it's a little liquidy, but I just work with it on my counter and then apply it. So I really enjoy this. This might actually be like my favorite product that I've used today, along with this shade of liquid eyeshadow in Evil Queen. If I come across it again, I might buy another 1 or 2. Of course, it's from my Halloween line, so it's not something you're always going to find, but it's just a beautiful, it's dramatic, but it's also kind of subtle, especially for me because it really kind of matches my skin tone. But I really love this shade. Like I said, it wasn't as much of an inner corner highlight for me personally, but as an all over shade, I really love this. So let me know what you think of these products. I know how a lot of you feel about the pomade. Let me know if you've tried some of the other mascaras in this line of LA Colors. Let me know if you've seen more than 3 shades of the IONI concealer. You know I love hearing from you all. So if you enjoyed this video, of course, show me you did by hitting the like button. Of course, if you can hype this video, I appreciate that as well. And I know you only get so many hypes, so I say this all the time, but I'm so grateful when you use them on me. I appreciate it so very much. Definitely check out my related content down below. I'll have similar content linked down below in the description box. Definitely give some of my other videos a binge watch. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.